Hello everyone, we are from Group 22 and we are going to present a topic about telecommunication and media. We are three in a group. Let me introduce my group members. First is Pevina Devi Peralagan, second is Jayashri Perumal, and the third is myself, Venuka Devi Aparao. Telecommunications refers to the transmission of information over long distance in order to communicate. Previously, telecommunication relied on visual signals such as smoke signals, signal flags, and optical heliographs, as well as audio messages such as coded drum beats and loud whistles. Telecommunication in modern times entails the use of electrical devices such as telegraph, telephone, radio, and microwave communication. Fiber optic and their associated electronic and the internet are all used in telecommunication channels. Modern telecommunication industry participants manufacture communication equipment and provide voice, data, and broadband services via a wireline and wired infrastructure of cable, networks, servers, computers, and satellites. This industry is highly sensitive to even minor changes in regulatory, technological, and economic factors. The phone, cable, video, cellular, and telecommunication equipment industries are increasingly intertwined in today's world. Globalization trends, the competitive implications of new technologies, and the changing regulatory environment are major challenges for this industry. This is the table of Board of Directors for Maxis Berhad. Raja Tan Sri Datu Sri Arshad bin Raja Tun Uda is Chairman of Maxis Berhad. There are 4 non-executive directors and 4 independent non-executive directors. This is table of Board of Directors for DG.com Berhad. Af Johansson is Chairman of DG.com Berhad. There are 3 non-independent non-executive director and 2 independent non-executive director. Principal activities of Maxis Berhad is a Malaysia-based investment holding company which managed Maxis Group operating in the telecommunication industry. The group is principally engaged in the provision of telecommunication and digital service as well as the sales of device. Its major business activities include the supply of mobile prepaid and postpaid services, fixed line services, as well as provision of network facilities, other convergence telecommunication digital and related services such as fixed wireless internet broadband service. Maxis Berhad subsidiaries include Advanced Wireless Technologies Sdn Berhad, a provider of wireless multimedia services. Maxis Broadband Sdn Berhad, an operator of a national public switch network and a provider of internet services and application. And Maxis Mobile Sdn Berhad is an operator of mobile telecommunications for niche project. Principal activities of DG.com Berhad provides a variety of mobile communication services. These services include voice under their prepaid plan and postpaid plans, SMS, data plans and services, international roaming, international calling card and WAP services. These trends represent a significant opportunity for business and that mobile internet adoption in Malaysia will sharply increase. DG crystallized its mission to deliver internet for all, enabling access to mobile internet services for all Malaysians through the right combination of devices. New digital services and applications, value pricing and the best usage experience. In 2012, the company shifted into full-scale implementation of its business transformation program, which includes modernizing its network and information technology landscape. putting in place next generation go to market structures and processes and significantly enhancing its human resources capabilities. The graph shows the open high-low close analysis for Maxis Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest price for a week. This graph shows the volume high-low cost analysis for Maxis Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Beta is a concept that measures the expected movement of a stock in relation to market movements. According to the table below, Maxis beta for January is 0.64. The beta for February has dropped dramatically to negative 1.22. It has increased for the month of March to 0.54. Following that, the beta increased dramatically for the month of April, reaching 2.16. This indicates that Maxis stock was more volatile than the broader market in April. It has dropped dramatically to the lowest value for the month of May. The beta standing at negative 2.46. In the month of June, it increased slightly to the value of negative 0.92. Maxis beta continues to rise, reaching negative 0.07 in July and 1.83 in August. It fell to negative 0.13 in September before rising to 0.92 in October. Maxis beta value has been negative for 5 of the last 10 months, and it has been less than value 1 for 3 out of 10 months. Maxis has a low beta and R squared relationship with the KLSE, indicating a low beta and R squared relationship. This also implied that Maxis is less volatile than the market. Including these stocks in a portfolio reduces the risk of the portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stock. We believe that utility stocks of Maxis have low betas because they tend to move more slowly than market averages. The standard deviation for Maxis Berhad's value is constant for both January and February before showing a slightly decrease in March, but increased eventually until May, then decreased in June. It had shown an increase for July until September and continued to decrease on October. For covariant, it had shown a steady declining value for most of the month except for February, June, August and October. The lowest value was on May. The graph shows the open high-low close analysis for DG.com Berhad. From that, we can see that highest and lowest price for a week. This graph shows the volume high-low close analysis for DG.com Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Beta is a concept that measures the expected movements of a stock in relation to market movements. The beta of DG.com Berhad in January is 0.19 according to the table below. The beta for February has dropped dramatically to negative 1.83. It has increased for the month of March to the value of 1.21. Following that, the beta increased dramatically for the month of April, reaching 11.46. When compared to April, it has decreased to 2.18 for the month of May. This indicates the DG.com Berhad stock was more volatile than the broader market in April and May. For the month of June, July, August, September and October, it fell to 1.61, 0.89, 0.46, 0.41 and 0.36 respectively. DG.com Berhad's beta value has been negative for only 1 month out of 10 months. and it has been less than 1 for 5 months. This means DG has a low beta and R squared relationship with the KLSE for 6 out of the 10 months. This also implies that DG has less volatile than the market. Including the stocks in a portfolio reduce the risk of portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stocks. Utility stocks of DG.com Berhad has low betas according to us because they move more slowly than the market averages. The standard deviation for DG.com Berhad's value is increased on February and slightly dropped on March before showing a slightly decrease in April but decrease eventually on May. It has shown an increase for August and continued to decrease on October. For covariant, it had showed a steady increases value for most of the months except for February, April and September. The lowest value was on September.
So next I'll continue explain about the board of directors of Axiata Celcom, where this consists of 10 members in total, 1 chairman, non-independent non-executive director, 1 managing director or president and group chief executive officer, 1 independent non-executive director, 1 senior independent non-executive director, 1 non-independent non-executive director, and there are also 4 independent non-executive director, and lastly there's 1 non-independent non-executive director. So next is the board of directors of Time.com Berhad. There are also consist of 10 members in total, 1 CEO and non-independent executive director, 1 chief financial officer, 1 senior independent non-executive director, and there are 3 independent non-executive director, and there are 2 non-independent non-executive director, and lastly there are 2 non-independent non-executive director. So next I'll continue with principal activities of Axiata Celcom. Axiata Celcom Group Berhad is a telecommunication firm based in Malaysia. So the main activities of Axiata Celcom Group Berhad are telecommunication services, telecommunication infrastructure and related services, as well as internet type services. The company's main activities are worldwide, investment holding, technical and management services. Through operating companies across footprint areas, the company focused on establishing triple core business such as digital telco, digital businesses and infrastructure. So next is the principle of activities of Time.com Berhad. Time.com Berhad is a fixed line telecommunication company that connects businesses and families by leveraging the capabilities of the most capable people and the latest available technologies. Has been listed on Malaysian Stock Exchange since 2001. Time.com Berhad is a holding company for investment. Time specializes in the management, marketing and promotion services as well as the retailing of telecommunication equipment. Time is also a Malaysian provider of fixed line telecommunications, network and solution. Time is situated in Shah Alam, Selangor, Malaysia and was created in 1996. The graph shows the open, high, low, close analysis for Axiata Celcom Group Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest price over 1 week. This graph shows the volume high, low, close analysis for Axiata Celcom Group Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Now, I will continue explain for the beta analysis. Beta is a concept that measures the expected movement of a stock in relation to market movements. Axiata Celcom's beta for January is 0.66. The beta for February has dropped dramatically to negative 3.84. It has shown a significant increase for the month of March to the value of 2.49. Following that, the beta for the month of April dropped dramatically to negative 0.20. It has continued to rise reaching 5.31 and 5.86 in May and June respectively. This indicates that Axiata Celcom stock was more volatile than the broader market 1.0 in May and June. For the month of July, it has fallen slightly to 1.20. It has plummeted to negative 0.15 and negative 1.23 in August and September respectively. Finally, for the month of October, it increased slightly to 0.05. Axiata Celcom's beta value has been negative for 4 of the last 10 months, and it has been less than 1 for 2 of those months. This means that Axiata Celcom has a low beta and R squared relationship with the KLSE for 6 of the 10 months. This also implies that Axiata Celcom is less volatile than the market. Including this stock in a portfolio reduces the risk of the portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stock. We believe utility stocks Axiata Celcom have low betas because they move more slowly than market indices. Now we will see the standard deviation for Axiata Celcom Group Berhad. The standard deviation value is decreasing from January to April before showing a slight increase in May but decreased eventually from June to August. It has shown an increase for September and continued to decrease till October. For covariant, it had showed a steady declining value for most of the month except for February and March. The highest value was on March. It has shown the lowest value for 3 months, which is on June, July and October. The graph shows the open high-low close analysis for Time.com Berhad. From there, we can see the highest and lowest price over 1 week. This graph shows the volume high-low close analysis for Time.com Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Now, I will explain for beta analysis for Time.com Berhad. Time.com's beta for January is negative 0.93. The beta for February has dropped to negative 1.54. For the month of March, it has shown a slight increase to the value of negative 0.22. Following that, the beta for the month of April decreased slightly to negative 0.27. It increased to 0.70 for the month of May before falling slightly to 0.58 and 0.41 for the months of June and July. It fell dramatically to negative 0.45 in August and then increased to 0.44 in September. Finally, for the month of October, it dropped to negative 0.56. Time.com's beta value has been negative for 5 of the last 10 months, and it has been less than 1 for 5 of those months. This means that the Time.com has a low beta and R squared relationship with the KLSE for the entire 10 months. This also implies that the Time.com is less volatile than the market. Including this stock in a portfolio reduces the risk of the portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stock. We believe utility stocks Time.com have low betas because they move more slowly than market indices. So now we will see the standard deviation for Time.com Berhad. The standard deviation value is increasing from January to February and continue to decrease in March. It has shown a slight increase in April but again decrease in May. It has shown an increase for June, continue to decrease in July again, but eventually increase from August to September and continue to decrease till October. For covariant, it had showed a steady declining value for most of the month except for January and February. The highest value was on January. It has shown the lowest value on September.
Next, the Board of Directors of Telecom Malaysia Berhad consists of 12 members in total. There is one non-independent non-executive chairman and one group CEO, and one senior independent director. There are 3 non-independent non-executive director and 5 independent non-executive director. Lastly, there is also one non-independent non-executive alternate director. Next, the Board of Directors of OCK Group consists of 9 members in total. There is one senior independent non-executive chairman, one deputy chairman, one group managing director, and one group CEO. There are 2 executive director and one non-independent non-executive director and 2 independent non-executive director. Now, I will explain about the principal activities of Telecom Berhad. Telecom Malaysia Berhad is a Malaysian-based company which provides communication services. The company's principal activities include the establishment, maintenance and provision of telecommunication and related services. The company segment include Unify, TM1 and TM Wholesale. Unify comprises of company's retail arm, which provides a wide range of telecommunication services and communication solutions to household, individual as well as small and medium enterprise companies. TM1 is responsible for the provision of a wide range of telecommunication services and communication solutions to small and medium business as well as corporate and government customers. TM Wholesale comprises of the wholesale arm of the company and its subsidiaries that complement the wholesale business and shared services, which include all shared services divisions, all business function division such as information technology and network. Now I will explain about principal activities of OCK Group. OCK Group Berhad involved in the provision of telecommunication network services. OCK Group provides full turnkey services in the telecommunications network. Their service covers 6 segments, which are network planning, design and optimization, network deployment, network operations and maintenance, energy management, infrastructure management, and other professional services. OCK Group has also diversified into the trading of telecommunications network materials and equipments, as well as enterprise network security solutions. The graph shows the open, high, low, close analysis for Telecom Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest price over 1 week. The next graph shows the volume, high, low, close analysis for Telecom Berhad. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Volume can indicate market strength, as rising markets on increasing volume are typically viewed as strong and healthy. When prices fall on increasing volume, the trend is gathering strength to the downside. Now, I will explain for the beta analysis. Beta is a concept that measures the expected movement of a stock in relation to market movements. Telecom's beta for January is negative 0.65. The beta for February has dropped to negative 1.10. It has shown a significant increase for the month of March to the value of 1.48. Following that, the beta for the month of April dropped dramatically to negative 3.77. It increased to negative 0.43 and negative 0.29 for the month of May and June, respectively, before falling slightly to negative 1.44 for the month of July. It has risen dramatically to the value of 0.181 in August and a value of 0.03 in September. Finally, for the month of October, it decreased slightly to 0.60. Telecom's beta value has been negative for 6 of the last 10 months, and it has been less than 1 for 3 of those months. This indicates that Telecom has a low beta and R-squared relationship with the KLSE for the most of the month. This also implies that Telecom is less volatile than the market, including this stock in a portfolio reduces the risk of the portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stock. Utility stocks like Telecom have low betas because they move more slowly than market indices. Now we will see the standard deviation for Telecom Berhad. The standard deviation value is decreasing from January to April before showing a slight increase in May, but decrease eventually on June. It has shown an increase for July and continued to decrease till October. For covariant, it has showed a steady declining value for most of the month except for March and August. The lowest value was on September. The graph shows the open, high, low, close analysis for OCK group. From that, we can see the highest and lowest price over 1 week. The next graph shows the volume, high, low, close analysis for OCK group. From that, we can see the highest and lowest volume of shares traded in a stock. Volume can indicate market trend, as rising markets on increasing volume are typically viewed as strong and healthy. When prices fall on increasing volume, the trend is gathering strength to the downside. Now, I will explain for beta analysis. OCK Group's beta for January is negative 0.06. The beta for February has dropped to negative 1.4. It has shown a significant increase for the month of March to the value of 0.85. Following that, the beta for the month of April dropped dramatically to negative 1.62. It continued to rise to 1.19 and 3.5 for the month of May and June before plummeting to negative 1.55 for the month of July. It increased dramatically in August to 0.62 and then decreased to 0.86 in September. Finally, for the month of October, it increased slightly to 0.01. OCK Group's beta value has been negative for 3 of the last 10 months, and it has been less than 1 for 5 of those months. This indicates that for majority of the months, OCK Group has a low beta and R-squared relationship with KLSE. This also implies that OCK Group is less volatile than the market. Including this, stock in a portfolio reduces the risk of the portfolio compared to the same portfolio without the stock. Utility stock like OCK Group have low betas because they move more slowly than market averages. Now, we will see the standard deviation for OCK Berhad. The standard deviation value is increasing from January to February before showing a slight decrease in May, but increase eventually on April. It has shown a decrease from May to July and a slight increase in August. It declined again in September and October. For covariant, it has showed an extreme decrease from January to February before increasing dramatically on March. It also decreased again on April before showing a slight increase on May and June. It declined drastically again to the lowest on July and had shown an increase on August. Lastly, there is a decrease for the month of September and October.
So next, I'll continue explain about industry risk analysis. The first one is policy government impact. All industries, irrespective of the product or service, depend heavily on the support they receive from the government to survive in the market. The role of the government seen as an essential supporter of the industry, employing a host of policies to contribute directly to the competitive performance of strategy or target industries. In terms of funding-wise, when interest rates rise, banks eventually charge more for business loans, making it much more difficult for telcos to borrow. In an operational sense, fluctuations put a bigger pressure on the already increasingly complicated job of managing the telco's cash flow. It is for these reasons And more than that, 67% of telcos sees interest rates as a major risk. So next is economic impact. Telecommunication is one of the foremost impactful factors that support the promotion of the sector, similar to other vital aspects of the economy. In one sentence, telecommunication is that the blood flow of the trendy economy, which will intensify the productivity level, which will make a contribution toward the assumpted important economic factors like increasingly the expansion rate of GDP or GDP per capita. The rising development and contribution of telecommunication technology enhance the urgency of the presence of the telecommunication industry in any economy because it is the technologically most advanced and significant tool for sharing information, similarly as a base for establishing a financially valuable commodity market. The telecommunication sector enhances the economic process of a country by connecting not only the international financial market but also the domestic financial market and commodity market.
Now I will explain about the social impact. One of the most significant risks in the telecommunications industry is social impact. The critically important theories of technology diffusion and media effects, particularly because it is a medium capable of integrating modes of communication and form of contact in a unique way. The main impact on social focus in inequality causes a wide range of health and social problems, ranging from lower life expectancy to higher infant mortality to poor educational attainment and lower social mobility. Then there's community and social capital to consider. The network structure indicates both the distribution of social capital in the industry and the location of opportunities for entrepreneurial action. Cultural shift in a company's IT department in the telecommunication industry. Employees in a receptive environment not only understand why the changes are necessary, but also engage with the process and faithfully execute the steps required, favoring the company's strategic positioning. Now, I will explain about environment impact. When it comes to environmental issues, the telecommunication industry stand is best perhaps described as one of balance and severe pragmatism. Of course, the industry can make a number of compelling arguments to promote its environmental credentials. The capital expenditure burden is increasing. Global telecommunication operators are investing in new networks ranging from 5G and low power wide area networks to gigabit fiber. However, the returns on these capex are frequently uncertain because advanced technologies such as 5G are still in early stages of development, and broadband as utility tends to pose significant threat to the premium pricing of fiber connectivity, making the right decision for infrastructure switch off, spin off and sharing. For example, it's become increasingly important. The regulatory framework will be altered. A growing regulatory emphasis is being placed on aspects such as data protection.
In conclusion, company management and oversight are set by the board. The high and low prices in stock trading refers to the highest and lowest prices in a given time period. The open and closed prices of a stock are the prices at which it began and ended trading in a same period. The total amount of trading activities is refers to as volume. Dividends, stock splits and new share issuance are all accounted in adjusted value. Beta is important, especially for investors who do not want their portfolio to experience large swing and for investors who may require the funds in the short term and will not have time to recover if there is a sudden downturn. Next, standard deviation is a statistical measurement in finance that apply to an investment annual rate of return. The higher the standard deviation of a security, the greater the variance between each price and the mean, indicating a wider price range. In finance, covariance is a degree or amount to which two stocks of financial instrument move together apart from another. If the covariance is negative, the two instruments move in opposite directions depending on the economy. Other than that, government regulations help the telecom industry grow. The improvement of telecommunication technologies is vital for economic institution and financial marketing. The network structure reveals social capital distribution and entrepreneurship opportunities. IT culture shift in telecom companies. Engagement and faithfulness of employees are reason for culture shift in the telecom industry. Lastly, telecommunications companies take a balanced and pragmatic approach to environmental issues. Thank you.